Hi friends, welcome back to the Archer and Olive channel. My name is Elizabeth. You might know me as The Joyful Sojourn on Instagram and YouTube. And today we are talking all about new planner setups and specifically the 5 essential pages I think everyone should set up first in their new planner. Today I'm working in the undated B5 size Songbird planner. This thing is gorgeous, though who am I kidding? Everything that Archer and Olive makes is gorgeous, but this is so lovely, friends. If you don't have this planner and you are interested in it, you can find it on the Archer and Olive website, and the code JOYFUL10 will save you 10% off of your purchase. Let's get into the actual pages. We have the name page on the front, we have a dot grid page, a perpetual calendar layout, and then we have 3 sets of dot grid pages before we get into our monthly layout and then our weekly layouts. It can be really intimidating starting a new planner or journal, especially when you're seeing so much inspiration on YouTube. So we are going to focus in on the most essential pages to just getting started, and hopefully it'll set you on the right path to using your planner in the new year. Now let's talk about supplies. I've pulled out some stamps, the new Legacy inks from Archer and Olive. They are fabulous. You're going to want to have something to clean your stamps. This is a absorber towel. Highly recommend. Stickers are always helpful, along with any personalization like pictures and tools like a pencil board, a stencil, pens, scissors, glue stick, the usual. These are all of the items that, I forgot about the planner tabs. Tabs are helpful, as is a notepad for excess paper. And of course, different inks if you want to blow out some color on the page. By far, the hardest obstacle for me in starting a new planner is just starting. I always am afraid that I'm going to ruin it. And so I overthink it, and then I get decision paralysis, imposter syndrome. I want to be a bullet journaler. I want to have a pretty planner, and I'm just afraid that if I touch it, I will ruin it. You have to get over that hurdle by just starting, and the easiest place to start is the name page. That first page, who the notebook or the planner belongs to. Customize that page first. It will break the seal. One of the easiest ways to set up the name page is actually doing it on a piece of paper separately, so that if you don't like the way that it turned out, you can just do it again on another piece of paper. I'm a big fan of this technique because I enjoy ripping paper and adding extra texture to my planners and my notebooks, and so this is just a win-win either way. I've got kind of a fail-safe, and I'm adding some extra dimension to the page. So I used a sheet from a B6 notepad in a soft pink color, and I stamped directly onto it using the Antique Florals stamp set and the black Legacy ink. This is an opportunity for you to get your planner or your journal started. It doesn't have to set the tone for the entire book. So what I designed on this front page does not have to be a reflection of what every page on the inside is going to be. So keep that in mind. I'm not married to pink paper for the rest of my planner. I'm not married to these fonts either. I can still have my notebook, my planner, my journal be cohesive and lovely, and it be totally different than what I put on my name page. So just have fun on the front. Put your name on it. Put a year on it if you want. Maybe it's themed. Maybe you're tracking something specific in this journal. Put the title of that theme on the page and call it a day. I hope my heart is making sense here. I just want you guys to feel free to set up this page and have fun and have it not feel heavy, like this decision is going to dictate how the rest of the journal or the planner is going to turn out. Back to the setup, I'm adding a piece of craft paper because I really love the look of the torn pink edge, but it wasn't standing out enough on the white paper. So I'm going to lay it down on top of the craft paper so we can see those nice torn edges. And if you notice, I do use 2 different types of adhesives here. There's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes I like a glue stick. Sometimes I like a glue runner. All right, we know who the planner belongs to. Essential page 1 is done with the name page. The second essential page that you should set up before all the others is a vision board page or a word of the year page. I say that this is an essential because life is going to get busy. There will be hard times. We will have clarity of mind before the new year begins of all the things that we hope for, that we are going to work towards. And then something's going to happen. There will be an obstacle in our way, and we won't be able to see the forest through the trees. It will all go out the window. So, before the new year begins, while you have the clarity of mind to forecast your hopes for the new year, get that down on paper and put it in your planner so that every time you open it up, you can see it smack dab right in your face. This is a collage I've made in the past. It's a collage of photos assembled in Canva, and then I printed it out on a full sheet of glossy photo paper. I just sized it down to B5 size and am gluing it directly onto the page. But you don't have to just do pictures. You can get really creative here if you're someone that likes to junk journal or like pull out pictures from magazines or use stickers. Do that. Do what feels good and what represents who you are. We've done the name page. We have done our vision board. The next essential layout is functional, and that is your perpetual calendar or your year at a glance. And I want to spend a little bit of time here because I get a lot of questions about how to use this specific layout. This is probably one of my favorite layouts in any planner because there are so many different things that you can track in it. If you're using an Archer and Olive pre-printed planner like this one and it's undated, the very minimum that I would do to get this set up is just add the months up at the top and perhaps a key with color coding for whatever I'm tracking. But because we love creative play around here and I see a lot of white space, I'm actually going to buff down some color around the outside perimeter of the grid. And in order to ensure that I don't get inside the blocks, I used washi tape to kind of block out the paper. I have two different types of blending tools. The first is a dauber that just fits on the top of your finger, and the other is a buffing tool that I'll probably use with the lightest color to blend everything together. Now, while I'm buffing away, let's talk about the many uses of a perpetual or year at a glance calendar. Associated with this video is a blog and my printable, which you can see here on the screen. That printable is a 4x6 that you can print out and just put in your planner with some washi tape if you need some good suggestions for how to use these pages. But while we are still buffing on ink, let me just share some of my favorites. The most obvious for a year at a glance is going to be calendar related things. So that would be birthdays, anniversaries, school calendars, daycare calendars, anything that maybe happens once a year that you want to see at a glance. Ooh, we have to pause with the ideas. This is my favorite part. I love seeing the negative space once we've lifted up the washi tape. Two little things I wanted to point out that I didn't put it down super straight. And then if you don't remove some of that adhesive from the washi, it can pull up the paper. Now I'm just adding a squiggly stamp, which will be underneath the abbreviations for each month. Now, if you have not gotten good use out of a year at a glance calendar in the past, I've got a bunch of ideas for how you can use it for tracking, including the pages that you've read, the weather, physical activity, blood pressure or glucose level, maybe word of the day or a word to describe your day, your moods, names of people to pray for or to connect with, cleaning areas of your house, maybe your calories or Weight Watchers points, sleep, the amount of money you spent that day, steps, movies that you've watched. There are so many different things that would be fun to track over the course of a year and be able to reference in the future. As I said, I do have a printable with a bunch of ideas that you can access at the blog, but I would love to hear from you. What are some ways that you have used your year at a glance pages? Leave a comment down below and share your ideas with everybody. Now, this step is optional, but I find it helpful to mark the weekends on the year at a glance pages. So I'm using the N89. It is my favorite light toned Tombow to highlight Saturdays and Sundays. And then I'm using the N65 to mark out days that are not in that month. So this goes vertically from the 1st through the 31st just to account for every possible day of the month. So shorter months, I just mark out with the N65. You can totally skip this step if you don't like the way that this looks, but I don't know, somehow it makes me make sense of the month a little bit better. And so I consider it part of my annual setup when I'm looking at my year at a glance pages. Now, full transparency, I was looking at this and not loving the way that it was looking, so I grabbed an acrylic paint pen and relined the months and added splatters and stars all around the page to kind of lighten it up and make it look a little bit more whimsical. I used the Archer and Olive alpha stamps for the top, and I do want to point out the difference between the left page and the right page. The left page I was stamping sitting down in the chair. The right page, I stood up and was leaning over the page. It is always helpful to stand up when you are stamping to make sure that your stamps are straight. The next few pages in the Archer and Olive Planner are plain dot grid pages that you can use for collections pages, like maybe a reading bookshelf, maybe additional yearly planning. And I think this is where people get overwhelmed and they stop. And so I'm not calling these pages essential. We're actually going to jump over them because the next essential page is really getting ready for the first month of the new year. There is always a dot grid page right before the monthly layout. And in order to get ready for the new year and the first month in the new year, we've got to set up the first month. So essential page number 4 is getting our divider page or our dashboard page set up. Now you could go through and do the divider or dashboard page for every month in advance, but don't overwhelm yourself. And you might get new supplies in the future that are more themed or seasonal. So let tomorrow's month, let the future take care of itself. We're just focusing on the first month in our planner. We're going to play with some stickers here. And because I'm not using the Kit Club, I think the Club is an excellent choice if you want a cohesive look from your monthly divider page to your monthly layout and to your weeklies. But in this first month of January, I want things to be free-flowing and to use all the things. It's okay if your monthly divider or dashboard page does not match week 3 of the month. Just have fun here. There are no rules. And I think that these peacocks are cute. So we're going to have peacocks be on my monthly divider, and I'm using a January stamp. Again, on paper first. I'm not doing it directly on the page. And that's going to give me some wiggle room with layout and design. Here I used the Legacy ink in the color Espresso. It is my new favorite ink color. It is the most beautiful, deep, rich brown. And it gives just such a nice vintage feel, especially on top of this ivory paper and, of course, having ripped edges. Now, if you haven't done this look before, I highly recommend that you take this as inspiration and run with it. I put a little bit of glue in the center of the page, enough so that the page would stay down, but the edges were still open and pliable. And I'm going to tuck stickers underneath so it looks like they're coming out from the ripped page. I'm so thankful for this sticker book. It's the Volume 1 Sticker Favorites because there are 4 sheets of every design, and I knew I was going to need more florals than what this page had, so I definitely go and steal more stickers from other sheets in the book. This page took me about 5 minutes, and I already feel more in control of my life leading into the new year. It's amazing how setting up a monthly divider page for the first month of the year makes me feel like I'm starting the year off right. And that leads me to the 5th essential page to set up in advance of a new year, getting that planner set up, and that is the first month's monthly layout, especially if you are a decorative planner. I will have a really hard time actually using my planner and writing in it if I haven't decorated it yet. That's an essential part of the setup for me. So getting it set up and decorated in advance of January allows me to start using it before January. And that is incredibly important with my family's calendar. There are a lot of beautiful collections pages that you can add to your planner or your journal at the start of a new year. But I really want to encourage you to just get started with the essentials first. Your name, your vision for the year, your year at a glance, and the details of the first month of the year. This will help you feel like you're not behind already. It will help you feel like your planner is already lived in and that you haven't messed it up. And it gives you a little bit more time to figure out how you want to play with the dot grid pages. I almost forgot the last finishing touch is adding a divider tab, and I just add these as I go each month. So we're grabbing the January tab. Now that we have a page right before that monthly layout, this is where all of my divider tabs are going to go. And I'm just lining up the straight edge of the tab with the paper. Once it's stuck down a little bit, turn the planner over and fold it from the front to the back. And we are done, friends. If you want to hang out with me again, you can find me at The Joyful Sojourn on Instagram and YouTube. Make sure you check out the blog for that printable about perpetual calendars, and we'll see you in the next one.